Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of the WOMANIYA Show. And I'm super excited because we have our first guest. I know a lot of you already know her. She is the founder of an online community called Brown Boss Babes. Yes, we are talking about Simran Handa. And we had a beautiful conversation. So do watch this podcast till the end. You will get to know a lot about her life, her inspiration, how she started her journey, what kept her going, and also the routine she follow in her daily life. So I will not waste much of your time and let's get started. Welcome to the WOMANIYA Show. As you know that you are our first guest, let our audience know that how are you feeling today? What is in your mind? Say something about it.
Having a good day today. I was excited, looking forward to the podcast with you, having a nice conversation, getting to know each other, and yeah, learn about each other. I think it's great that you've started it because we can learn about more women and their stories. So yeah, I'm super looking forward to it.
The main motive of this podcast is to just bring more women creators and all of this podcast is completely designed to be about women, like the women that we are looking for. We are so thankful that said us yes on the first go itself, so thankful for that.
Thank you so much for having me. Let's go.
So one question like which many of creators, whenever they are starting their online journey, their content creation journey, so there is just one thing, like there is some kind of inspiration. When you started your journey, then what was the thing which was there in your mind? As the story, tell us everything about how you started the content journey.
I'd love to answer this question because when I started my journey, it was
Mhm.
around 3.5 years back. And I was already working in social media for a long time. I worked in social media for 8 years. I was working in Italy, I worked in India.
Mhm.
So after a point, the reason why I started my own page and content creation was not because I wanted to create something and build something or anything like that. It was
Mhm.
because I was going through a very hard time at that time. I was
Mhm.
going through a lot of issues with my relationship, with my personal life. I had just lost my job. I had finished a relationship. I was 25 and I felt like my life should have been sorted when I turned 25. It was actually the opposite, where everything was falling apart.
Yes.
And whenever I opened Instagram or I opened social media, there was no place which made me feel like it's okay if you don't have it all together. I would only see people getting degrees or getting married, having children, and I felt like, okay, I'm behind. And realized like if there's no place like that where we can't talk about things being normal to like do things at your own pace, at your own
Mhm.
timelines, especially in our culture, there were a lot
Exactly.
of pages which were probably more, I would say, white or like, from the first
Mhm.
world countries, but there was nothing that I could relate to in India. So I feel
Okay.
like if I can't relate to it, I should create one space for me. It was like a safe space where I
Okay.
could discuss things. And it's funny because it spitballed because so many women related with what I was saying. And that made me realize that perfection is actually not real. And Instagram requires that kind of space also where people are being real about their lives and not just, sharing the highlights of their life. So that's where I always say this, I turned my mess into my
Mhm.
message. And that's where Brown Boss Babes came from. And it's been like a 3 year journey on different aspects, meeting a lot of people, building this page up, talking to a lot of different people. And I always say content creation, if you're starting this journey or if you're thinking of starting this journey, you need to be really clear about your why. If your why is not clear,
Exactly.
you're going to disappear. If you just want the followers or if you just want the adulation, if you want, there's nothing wrong with wanting big things in your life, but understand that people love those who can help others. So if you're not truly wanting to spread some part of you to
Part of.
this world,
Mhm.
then you're not going to stand out because there are just so many people doing it and there's just so much, noise out there, I would
No.
say. So find your authentic voice. What connects with you and how are you different? Because I truly feel like everybody else, every one of us is unique in our own way. Your journey is different to my journey,
Mhm.
different to somebody else who's watching this.
Definitely.
So find parts of your journey which can help you find your why and why you're doing something that you're doing online. So yeah.
Reason the most of girls relate to your content and everything, like whatever stories you share, means you are too real and authentic that
whenever a girl means any of means when they see your reel or whatever it is, they completely connect to it, and they don't means everybody has their own some kind of self means insecurity or vulnerability you can say, but means when they see like creators, like when they are coming forward and they are sharing their own story, means they relate to it. And also like there are people like who don't feel like sharing their personal things, but when they see creators like you, means they gain some sort of strength that yes, means if she is someone and she can come and she can speak about herself and her journey, then why cannot I?
Thank you.
So like Simran, like you have been creating content for such a long time now. So there is means there must be something that means you have received a lot of love and respect and appreciation from your audience, but there must be some kind of message or anything like which got just stuck in your mind. Would you like to share that? What's the best message you have received from your audience or anything? Means or any girl just came to you and she just shared her journey.
Honestly, like I get a lot of messages on a lot of wavelengths, but like one of
Mm-hmm.
the things which I really appreciate is a lot of girls will message me saying XYZ Didi, thank you, Didi. And a lot of them can like, kind of refer to me as Didi, which is basically in Hindi, it means big sister,
Mm-hmm.
right? I've also been called Didi in like other languages. And I didn't know what it is till like I asked my friend, oh, what does this mean? Like I remember
Okay.
somebody called me, I think in South Indian they have a word for Didi as well. I didn't know that. Like, and somebody called me Tai, which is again Didi in Marathi.
Again, yeah. Again, this
And
is.
for me, I think that was like the most touching. Like, it's very touching when they call me that because I feel like they give me the onus of the big sister. Because I always tried to be the person or the woman that my younger self needed. And I think like that is who I am today because if I could go back and tell myself a lot of things, this is exactly what I would do. And that's what I do on my page. So I think a lot of women who come to me and they call me Didi, I think that is the highest, most touching thing you can call me because and it's the biggest honor because to call somebody
Hmm.
with that respect is and I feel very touched any single time somebody calls me that. But I have to say like one message which I could remember which
Yes.
really touched me is
Hmm.
of a girl who messaged me, and she messaged me in 2021 saying that she's struggling, she connects with my journey, she had lost her job, she had lost her relationship exactly in the position I was. And I was
Okay.
like, it's okay, like I helped her. Obviously, I can't fix your life for you, but I
Hmm.
can guide you. My
Right.
content can support you. And after 1 year, exactly, she messaged me and she's like, Sim, you changed my life. I have a high paying job now. I am in a very
Wow.
happy
That's
relationship. And for me, I was like, I mean, I wasn't even with her, but through my content
oh
and
my
through
God.
the stuff I
Yes.
do, and through my support, like, because she felt like I was with her, in 1 year's time, she changed her life. And I have done it for myself. And I always say there's nothing special about me. She did it for herself. It's a decision, does not happen overnight. And your
Exactly.
overnight transformation it's a commitment. You're one decision away from a different life, but it's going to take a lot of commitment. And to see that that person came back and messaged me that because of you I made that change in my life, I think that was the biggest touching thing that could have happened to me and like really touched me. And yeah, so I would say this really connects with me. And I lost my sister when I was 17 and my sister was 19. And she
Oh.
was elder than me. So I lost her very young. And I feel like somehow I found all these sisters now, which is very, very beautiful in some way. So yeah.
You are like an elder sister on the internet who has been in that toughest situation, okay, and who has fought all the battles of her life, and now is on the internet, helping other girls and your own sisters. Means just like you said that they are all like your sister, and you are that kind of a person like who is not just creating content, okay, not just creating content, but you are actually helping them in just one way or the another. And you said, as you said that you don't feel like you have done something, but no, actually it's not the thing. It's just your content, but the way you are means you bring that authenticity in everything you do. Means I think that's the most beautiful part about you, like which most of the girl aspire to be. So I think that's the best thing. And whoever that girl is, means she actually made the right decision, that she followed you and your
Oh,
content. And
that. And I think that if we pay it forward, that's how the world changes. Like today, you and I are having a conversation.
yes,
Somebody will
exactly.
listen to this and it'll pay forward. And that's how you keep making the change happen, you know? So,
Many of the people on the internet, they know that you are also the founder of a social with sim, or a kind of social media marketing business. Okay, if you can give some of the insights about that business, like how did you started, because today is the generation living in a world of social media, and nowadays, like every woman or any person, like whenever they see people on the internet and they are earning something, so like in the back of the mind they have this thought that I also want to become that self independent, and I also want to do everything for myself. So can you explain, like how did you started your self independence journey? Then so would love to know that how did you started your journey on this part, not just content creation but also with the online business and all.
business. So, if you're thinking about starting an online business or
Mhm.
doing any kind of online work, the first thing you need to understand is that, like, as kids growing up, we know that, like, for example, you want to be a doctor. What do you have to do? You have to go to a doctor's college
Mhm.
and you have to, like, study for 5 years, or go, if you want to be a lawyer, you know which college you have to go to, you know which. So, there is a very known steps that you have to take. It's not
Exactly.
rocket science.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the online world, it's not like that because it's an evolving world. So I feel like online world is right now in a place where it is not categorized and there are no clear steps to making something work, right? So
Mhm.
because it is a little bit blurry, and I feel like when we have children and like 50 years from now, it'll
Yes.
be a degree, it'll be an actual thing for you to
Actual
go
thing.
and, it'll be like
Pursue.
a doctor or an
Mhm.
engineer, you'll be a content
Exactly.
creator or
Content.
you will be an online business owner.
Mhm.
So I feel like it's something of tomorrow. So right now, because it's such a unorganized sector, I would call it, there is a lot
Okay.
of fluff out there. There's a lot of shit. Sorry, excuse my language, but a lot of crap out there because a lot of people are trying to sell you like quick,
Different
make 1 lakh
courses.
rupees, make thousands of lakhs.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that's not possible. All I'm saying is that understand that there's a lot of marketing gimmick behind it. Instead, take the smarter route. And what I did was that when I had my job in marketing in Milan, it was a marketing job. And in that job, my boss was the first one who really inspired me and pushed me. And she was
Okay.
like, Sim, you should
Mhm.
start learning social media because we want you to help the company. So I
Okay.
was like, okay, great. So I did online classes on social media, on Google Ads, on like YouTube, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. So through that, so the first thing I did was I started learning what it is about. That's the first step, right? You have to learn what it is
Yes,
about.
exactly.
Now, the thing is, you realize that after you learn all this, not everything will be for you. You will be like, for example, I specialize in social media and I focus only on organic social
Organic.
media. And I
Mhm.
do Instagram and I do YouTube and I do LinkedIn, and that's it. And Facebook, maybe. And that is my, let's call it, area of expertise. So
Expertise.
after you
Yeah.
learn to try do everything, you have to decide what, but it'll only come when you start learning different things. So learn the different online skills. It's not rocket science. There is so much free information online. There are
Online.
online courses you can do. There's so much, so much. I invested in my growth. I learned from coaches as well. There's nothing wrong with investing in your growth
Investing.
because this is, I call this a money making skill. As you grow up in
Exactly.
life, you need to
Mhm.
invest in things which are a money making skills. If you want to make more money, learn a skill which will help you make more money and understand that these
Exactly.
skills are available. It could be stock markets, it could be investing in properties, it could be
It
so
can be
many things
anything.
today.
Mhm. Mhm.
Exactly. So that's the first place I want you to start. Second, don't be, I would say I'm somebody who believes a lot in nothing is final. That means this is, I think, my second or my third online business that I'm doing, which
Okay.
is successful. Before this,
Okay.
I tried doing a jewelry business. It didn't work, and I
Did
had to
not
shut
work.
shop in 6 months. So understand that just because you're trying something doesn't mean it's going to work. You have to give yourself time to try different things. Also, don't be too quick to be like it's not working. It's not going to work in like 1 month.
Just
Give
give time
yourself
something.
six
Mhm.
months.
Mhm.
Exactly. You have to give 6 months. I always give myself 6 months and I give myself
Okay.
goals in that 6 months. And if I don't make it happen in that 6 months, I tell myself, okay, I have two options. Either I continue and try again, or I shut it and I start something else. And there's nothing wrong with knowing, I call it know when to pivot. A lot of people in our culture are taught that don't quit. I think that's the worst
That's
advice
the
on
worst
planet Earth.
thing. Exactly. I
You
know
need to know
that.
exactly when to quit. Know when to quit is what I will say, and know
Hmm.
when to keep going. And this is where you really need to you learn to develop that your skill to understand this. So that's the second thing. Once you learn these things, be smart. What I did was I had a job and I wanted to start my business. And right in the middle of the pandemic, I lost my job. So I had a lot of connections from my job. And my work was online. So I started reaching out to them and being like, do you need help? And they were like, yeah, okay, we need help. And that's how I started my online business. I didn't just go like, okay, I'm quitting my job today. I don't need money. I'm going to start my business and I'm going to make millions of dollars. That's not how it works.
That's
Understand to be smart in your decisions. Test things. If you're doing a job, give yourself 3 months to start a side hustle. And then later, that side hustle, if it's working well, it can turn into your business. And when you start earning as much as you're earning in your job,
job.
quit that job and then go into your business. And this is how you are making a smart plan for yourself.
Smart.
So if you're thinking of getting into online business, understand everybody loves the idea of having time freedom and money freedom and all that.
Most people are
Yeah,
actually means
you
kind of attract means this things looks very attractive
it's
unless you
very
start
shiny
doing it.
object.
Hmm.
Absolutely. It's very shiny object. So understand that grass is always greener on the other side. I'm not saying I love doing my business. I will not go back to my job because I love doing this. But I have found my way after doing it for the last 4, 5 years.
For five
So
years.
understand that it takes time
It's
for you
time.
to reach
Hmm.
that point. And everything is a struggle, whether you do a job, whether you do a business, whether you sit at home taking care of kids, even that is struggle. Don't think that nothing is everything has its own things to get over. So get into it knowing that it's a long term vision and work with mentors. I invested in mentors. I worked
Mentors.
with 3 business coaches, yes, and I've
Okay.
spent a lot of money, but because they helped me make more money. So know who to work with, trust the right people. They will help you, guide you to make a better business. And my father used to tell me this, like when I was younger, I
Hmm.
wanted to do everything myself. And I'm like, I can figure it out. I don't need anyone. I can do it myself. I can do it myself. And I used to waste like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months doing something which if I would have just asked him, it would have helped me like 1 month, I would have
One
done it.
month.
But
Asking
I
for
had
help.
ego, or
Hmm.
I had this, I want to make myself and build myself. And he used to say, Simran, if you want a Mercedes, don't go to the shop and buy the parts of the Mercedes and buy a tire and buy the engine and then spend 6 months building the Mercedes. Just go
Good
to the
example.
person who has a Mercedes and
Hmm.
ask him, how did you get the Mercedes? That person will tell you exactly how, and you will do it in like 10 times faster
Then
than what you'll do it yourself. So I believe like mentors are cheat codes. You should have a mentor in life. You should have a guiding force because they help you get faster to where you want to go. So yeah, I would say if that helps answer your question about online marketing and business.
completely like many people they just they just jump into this online thing and means as you mentioned that success takes time and they maybe they will just work for more 2 to 3 months and they'll say that this thing is not working like means in any case we means we can take example like of content creation or anything like many people like they just quit in the beginning but the thing is to just keep going and experimenting. It's like as you said that you have invested and worked on 3 models of business and until you just came sure that yeah this is the thing means which I wanted to do. So yeah,
Hmm.
this is the thing, right?
Absolutely.
The advice which you have gave to everyone like now whoever who is starting their online business or who wants to start their online business like your advice is going to help them a lot. One thing like before we wrap up like is there any specific routine or anything like you do daily basis like which helped a lot in your own personal growth and transformation want then you can just share with our audience.
So the thing is that I am just such a disruptive personality. If I tell myself I have to follow a routine, I will never do it
Okay.
because I know myself and I know that I'll do it for like 5 days, 6 days. If I force myself to do something, it starts feeling more like a task and
Task.
less like
Yeah.
something that I genuinely want to do.
Mhm.
And I've tried routines before, like even like if I have to, like, Sim, you have to do this, you have to do that. I realized with my personality type, what works is if I am inspired to do something,
Okay.
then I prefer to do it.
Prefer.
So I have something called like a morning flow. And morning flow means that every morning when I wake up, whatever time I wake up, I try not to touch my phone for at least 1 hour. That is the worst thing you can do. Keep your
Mhm.
phone aside. Keep don't talk to your parents, don't talk to anybody, because I know they're
Anyway.
just gonna yap and yell, and where is the chai, where is this, where is that.
It happens.
Go get your coffee, sit by yourself, and give yourself like 20 minutes to
Okay.
ask yourself these three questions. How are you feeling today? Number
Mhm.
two, what do you need today?
Neat.
What do you need in your life? And number three is, how can you give yourself what you need today? So the first thing is, if I'm feeling like I don't feel loved,
Okay.
then that means I need love. What
Mhm.
can I do to feel more loved today? Maybe I could, meditate a little bit more for like 10
Yeah.
minutes. Maybe I
Helps.
can pick up the
Mhm.
call somebody, call maybe my friend, call my mom, or like chat with her, make myself feel loved again, and be okay to be vulnerable with that person. Of course, this
Mhm.
has to be a trusted person so that you feel better. But you have to give yourself 15 minutes
15
to
minutes.
do the task, to give yourself what you need. Okay. So this is my 20-minute flow. Yeah. So I feel like we always have to go to therapy. Of course, all that is important, or
Mhm.
spiritual practices, but you can give yourself what you need once you learn how to self heal yourself. So there are five things. Number one is meditation. I meditate almost every day. Number two is journaling. I have a
Mhm.
journal in which I like to journal my feelings, what I'm feeling. Number three is I listen to podcasts, I watch TED Talks,
TED
I watch
Talks.
something inspirational, which helps me to get through what I'm going through. Number four is that I have go to my support system. So maybe that is, I don't have a lot of people in that I call my people. I know a lot of people, but I would
But
probably say three
mhm.
people are my people. And I feel like maybe I need to talk to one of them to make myself feel better. I do that. One is read books. I love self-help books. I do this a lot where if I'm feeling confused or I'm feeling lost, I just pull out a book
Mhm.
which I feel could guide me. I just flip the pages randomly and stop. And then I start reading from wherever that page stopped. Because I feel like whether I'm looking for it or not, I find some guidance when I do that. And I feel like I believe a lot in like helping yourself through your journey. And there
Journey.
are these tools. So keep these tools with you every morning before you're getting into your day, because the way you start your day will be how the rest of the day
The
will
rest
go.
of the day
And I
goes.
promise you, you're not going to have all good days. You're going to have bad days. You're
Bad
going to have
days.
days where you're just like, nothing is going as per plan. Everything is falling apart. But that's fine, because that's a part of life. And that's why you have this flow or this routine to help you get back into system. And the more you do it, the more it's
Mhm.
going to become natural to you. So yeah.
So as you have mentioned that you are not going to have a lot of good days. So like just quick question, like what do you do when you don't feel good about anything? The energy is not that much great. So how do you tackle on those days? Like we can term it
So
as bad days. Like
when
what do you do?
bad days, let's call it
Mhm.
bad days or off days, when you're feeling off.
Okay.
Like right now,
Oh
it's
yeah.
raining in Bombay. I'm in Bombay and it's raining, and it's like, ugh, the weather is gloomy, life is gloomy. And a lot of people are like, I'm not having a good day. Yesterday, somebody texted me, I'm having an off day, Simran. What should I do? The
Mm-hmm.
first thing you need to understand is whatever you're feeling is valid.
Valid.
Stop
Yeah.
trying to fix things. Stop trying to like, I need to become positive. I need to become motivated. I need
Mm-hmm.
to do. You don't need to do anything. You just need to feel what you're
Feel.
feeling. And one day maybe might go in just feeling what you're feeling. Then there's nothing wrong with that. Like you're allowed to take that break. You're allowed to rest.
Rest.
But at the same time, don't get stuck in it. I believe if you're having this off day for a while, that means your next day is also off, and
Next.
the next day is also off. That means that you're
Then
getting stuck in this loop where
mm-hmm.
you're letting your or
Self-doubt.
overthinking or your fears, all of that is creeping in, and it's basically making you a potato, and you are procrastinating. You're sitting on it, you're thinking about it, you just don't want to do anything. And the only thing which cures this is action. Action cures
Action.
this feeling of negative overwhelm
Negative.
that you're having. And what action? You don't have to think about what I want to do 1 year from now, or I want to
Mm-hmm.
be the president of India, or I want to have like $1 million company.
Million
Stop thinking 1 year from now. Stop thinking even 1 month from now. Start not even 1 week from now. Start thinking now.
today.
Today, what can
Mm-hmm.
I do? It's the second or the third day I'm off. I take a pen, I have my to
Then,
do list every day on my desk, and
mm-hmm.
I just write down
Write down
manually, quite like without thinking. I just write down what do I have to do
what
today?
do I do
Oh, I
today.
have to talk to this client, I have to write this content, after this. I just write it down. And then all I do is I keep that list, I open my laptop, and I go one by one into those things. I don't feel like doing it, but you have to do
But
it. You'll feel very uncomfortable. You'll want to stop doing and go and watch TV or
mm-hmm.
watch Netflix or
Things
stuff
will
like that.
automatically happen.
You need to get
Mm-hmm.
into a position of momentum.
Yeah.
And this momentum, the more you do it, one day I promise you, you'll get out of whatever you're feeling. The problem is that we wait for ourselves to be ready or to feel
Mm.
good to do
Good.
something or
Yeah.
feel motivated. Your biggest liar and the person you shouldn't trust is motivation, because
Motivation.
motivation is based on feeling, and feelings change. What you need is you need to choose discipline
This
over motivation. I don't feel like doing client work today, but I have to do it. I may not do the best job on planet Earth today, but I'll do it because I need to do that action to make sure I have better. My client is happy. I have more clients. I whatever tasks I need to do to get to my goals. So you're not going to be motivated 24/7. Rely on discipline over motivation and develop systems of simple tasks that you need to do. And that's it. Your number one job on the days you're feeling off is to just get through them. That's
get
it.
through that.
That's your only job. Because more you keep doing it, eventually you will get out of your funk. You will find your happiness again. You'll meet
Mm-hmm.
someone. You'll go out. You'll have a good day. You'll watch a nice movie. Something will change inside you. And your feelings, the best part about feelings is that they don't last forever. So you're not going to be in that place forever.
Place
You will
for
be able to change it eventually. So yeah.
whatever you said, that it's making completely sense. Like just focus on today, and we just divide out the things like, yeah, these are the tasks, as you mentioned, that to-do list thing. So if you just write it down the things, not like forcing, but rather living in discipline and thinking that, yeah, these are the tasks that we need to do, and just going one by one. And at the end of the day, like, you will just sit and see like, yeah, already your tasks have been completed, and without just forcing yourself, like, all your tasks complete. So you have given a beautiful example.
So
We are going to end this podcast, but before ending, like, just head to the exciting part, which is called the rapid fire round. You will not get much of a time to answer this, like, you have to quickly answer. Are you excited for
yeah,
this?
I'm scared. I'm really bad at this. Okay, let's go.
So the first question is like, what is the first thing you do in the morning?
Open my blinds. Like that's the first thing I do. Open my curtains. Yeah. I think that forces me to get out of bed. So the first
Okay.
thing I tell myself is I have to open the curtain. So because of that, I have to get off the bed, open the curtain. And that's like, okay, I woke up, because I feel like if you wake up half groggy, it's going to like mess up your day. So the first thing I do is I let the sun in. So yeah.
So the next question is, if you love traveling, then what's your favorite traveling destination?
Traveling, I travel a lot,
Okay.
and my favorite place on earth, which I think has some magic, is two places. Number one is Sicily in Italy. That is
Wow.
the place I want to go back
Mhm.
to. And the second is Bali. So yeah, these two places, Ubud and Bali. Yeah.
Okay, so next question is like, if you ever get a chance to go out on a dinner with any of your favorite celebrities, so who would be, and also we need to know the reason why.
Like how many people can I choose? Like four, five, or
Just
just like
just one,
one?
just one, just one.
I would probably say Priyanka Chopra. And I
Wow.
feel like, yeah, I would love to know her journey. I would ask her about her journey and what she's been through and how I would just try to figure out her life, because I think the best people you can learn from are those people. So yeah, I
Yeah,
would just,
the OG, we can say, like.
yeah, I think like she's done a lot of incredible things as an Indian woman, and I
Hmm.
would just love to understand her journey because I definitely get inspired by it. So, yeah.
Question is like, what's your most, means, if you had to pick any of your two favorite books, what would be?
Of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. I
Hmm.
highly recommend it to
Okay.
all my audiences. The second one is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is a great book for communication and
Communication.
interpersonal skills. how to make people like you, how to talk to people, how to build networks and relationships because they're very important in life. So, and Magic of Thinking Big is for growth mindset and how to have a big mindset. So these two are like my Bibles to go to. Yeah.
Okay. And from non-fiction, anything from fiction?
Oh,
You like reading stories or something?
I do. I love
Okay.
spiritual stories, or like I love Paulo Coelho. He's my favorite author. So any
Okay.
book of his I would read. Current favorite, which I would say if anybody wants to read, I love thriller. It's called
Okay.
The Silent Patient by
Silent
I finished that book in like 1 week. I loved
one
it so
week.
much.
As you have mentioned that means you like reading thrillers book, then you can also read a book like a name called The Woman Within. It means the
No.
author is Nitya Ravi. Okay, I'll just share the
Okay.
link. Okay, means she's a newcomer author, and
Yeah.
the means I have read the first thriller book in my life ever. Then it was hers, and she has written just fabulous. Means you would like this book.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Last question is, if you were given a chance, like if I ask you that if there is one word that will describe you, then what will be? Just one word. Describe yourself in just one word.
I think evolving, growing. I
Evolving.
think
Wow.
always evolving. So I would say I'm like a sponge, people say. So I think, yeah, evolving is the
Evolve. That's beautiful. Miss, you have answered all my questions beautifully. Like,
To all our listeners, thank you so much for watching this podcast till the end. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of the WOMANIYA show. Trust me, this is just the beginning and we are just getting started. Also, let us know which is the best part you liked about the podcast. Don't forget to share with your friends. Do subscribe to our channel for more such podcasts.